AVP synth Ritmobox. The name itself is just really cool. I previously owned their MAD 5 drum module, which required an external sequencer or trigger source of some kind. This, of course, has a built-in sequencer. The pros of this unit, anything from AVP synth, at least from my experience, has been the craftsmanship, the physical makeup, steel chassis, solid knobs, solid buttons. There's no shortcuts made there. Individual outs are on the back. MIDI in and out, great for incorporating other devices to be in time. You can have this as the master or slave for tempo. Another major bonus is coming out of the box. If you've had some experience with drum machines in general, you don't need a manual at all. It's very, very intuitive. And nowadays it seems that a lot of boutique shop type drum machines tend to have a lot of hidden alt features and just counterintuitive steps that you have to take. This layout is very user-friendly, very simple. I love the knob per function. What you see is what you get, nature of it. I kind of see this as a mini-size version of the Vermona DRM Classic. While it certainly doesn't have such an array of sound choices, it's still very analog and very unhinged in the utmost analog way. Right now you can see I have 5 lights lit up and these sound selectors are all shaded. That simply means that I can now select what channels to mute. So these already have program functions, and I hit play. Can slowly kill each one. If I want to see each one, then I simply go to each individual sound, and each section here coincides with this. Close hat, open hat, close hat, open hat, and then G1, 2, and 3. An astounding feature would be to be able to record parameter changes. So you record your knob changes. Of course, that would bring this thing to a whole different price point possibly, but I think that would make this the ultimate analog drum machine. Let's check out some of the sounds. Very solid analog closed hat. Love the sound. You can dial in a little metallic touch to it. A really nice sharp sound. The same sound as this one, but has a more open envelope. They work very well together. These are each the same thing as far as the parameters and the root sound. I will go through 2 of them since I've only had this for so long. we're talking about a few hours now. I'm going to compare two of them just to make sure that that theory is true. But because of the range at which each one carries, it's certainly great to have three. Would have been even better to have four, because you feel a little bit handcuffed when you have to use one of these generators to make a kick. It's kind of like saying, all right, all your tools are in this box here, and you can make a kick out of it, and you can change it around, but I'll give you an example. Let's go ahead and make a kick. Why don't we do that? Pretty much everything's going to be closed down. Okay, so the pulse kind of gives you an attack or a thrust to it. The main parameters you're going to mess with are going to be your decay, sweep, and pitch. Yeah, the pulse gives it like a thud. And if you want to dirty it up, just want to give a little bit of noise to cut through the mix. So it just takes a little patience and playing around with it. It's not a Joe Mox M Bass 11 or whatever as far as your range of kicks, but it's very analog and you can really get some good punch to it. Let's see if I can do the same thing over here just for grins. Yeah, same makeup. Alright, so you can make a nice solid kick. So let's look at the other crazy stuff you can do. Obviously with the individual outs, you can add all kinds of effects, which are going to add a lot more layering to it. We're going to mess around with G2 for now. Get out of the kick realm. And each one has a, I don't even know what these stand for. I should have looked at the menu, of course. I mean, it basically it's like a filter. Maybe high res, low res. So if you like things to be muted, you just cut it right there. But obviously it can also get crazy fast, so it's kind of like a matter of taming the beast. Now, of course, by itself, Just hearing this, it may sound kind of like, oh, wow, why would I just want that warbling, bleeping R2D2 type sound going on? But if you make a sequence and you got little pieces here and there blending together, using a little splash of effect or whatever, it can become a beautiful thing. I think this is actually probably one of the best layouts of drum as far as size for drum machines. I like that it's ramped up naturally. I have a lot of mine are flat, so you kind of feel like you have to put on an incline anyway. But the cost is the sequencer. It's a 16-step sequencer, but you only have 8 steps to work with at a time. Would I prefer to have 16 across with smaller buttons? Probably, to be honest. Ironically, I'll complain that my MFB Tans mouse buttons are too small, so here I am complaining that I only have 1 row. So I guess you can't win unless you're going to get a much larger footprint. So it takes a little bit getting used to when you're doing a 16 step, because you're rolling along and then you're like, okay, so we're going to make this 16 steps. Okay, so now, but if you got a fast tempo going on and you want to suddenly add, something on the 12 step, 50, whatever, you have to wait for it to come around and like, oh wait, no, I missed it. If you're doing real-time play live or whatever, it's very easy to get lost or not catch it in the right time, and then the brain's kind of thinking like, wait, did I just unmute that, or did I hit it? And then so if you have complex rhythms you want to pre-program and save, which it lets you save up to, I believe, 16 patterns, then that's fine, that's great. If you stay in the 8-step realm, then of course that's a lot easier to control. I discovered one little quirk with this unit, a slight defect I guess you could say from manufacturing, is the fact that there's a slight bleed into the main mix. So when you insert a cable to do an individual out and you're also listening to the main mix, it doesn't fully negate the sound from the main mix. I'd say there's maybe like a 15% leftover sound coming through. Obviously, you can do a workaround and strictly use the individual outs, or just use the audio mix. Or if you don't care that there's a little bit of bleed, and that's, that could be a stylistic choice as well, that's fine. But I also found that when I was doing an output and I was having the hi-hats come out, I was starting to get kind of like a crossover interference of some kind, almost like a loose wire. I don't know if it's the actual makeup of the system, the way they interface, or maybe my cables aren't that good. The plus side though is that when I contacted the company, they actually acknowledged this and they were aware of it and they admitted it. And that to me is very credible, because if there's anything I can't stand is when a company denies something, or they say, oh, there must be something wrong with your unit or whatever. They were very direct about it. They're a small shop and they make great products, so I'm willing to overlook that as a defect. If you go to their website, you'll see they have quite an array of drum machines. They have some really big beasts that have a lot more features than this. This is kind of like almost a budget to mid-range machine of theirs. The Ritmobox is actually on its way out, being discontinued. They're making their last number of units, so if you're interested, you might want to jump on that right now. The Ritmobox from AVP Synth. Very capable, very analog, very fun. This is All Chain Bit. Thanks for watching.